Okay guys, so this video is basically going to be a lot of pictures of maps with lines that I draw over them, explaining the different areas, and it's going to be mostly a voiceover. If you're not interested in that, or you were hoping to get views of a beach or a scenic area, this video is probably not for you. This is mostly valuable information of where you will arrive, where you'll go, and where you'll stay. And then if you guys are into that, let me know, and I'll make more like these. This is the central area of Bahia de Huatulco. I will focus on this area mostly because this will be where you mostly interact, unless you're going to Puerto Angel or some other parts that are north of Huatulco that are really not part of Huatulco anymore, but because of the proximity of the airport, they are associated with Huatulco. This is Santa Maria Huatulco, right here. This is the original town of Huatulco, and it has precedence over a lot of the small towns around it, being the main municipality. All the other ones are satellite towns that fall under it. It's northeast of the airport. It's actually 15 kilometers inland. It has no beaches. There are no tourist attractions. The only time you'll see it is if you book a tour going to Pluma Hidalgo, you'll drive through it. I suggest if you do have the time to go and experience it either by bus or collective taxi. If you are on a short trip, maybe save it for next time. This is the Bahia de Huatulco International Airport. This is where you will fly into if you fly into the Huatulco. The airport code is HUX. I did a video on it on ground transportation and picking up your luggage. If you go through my videos, you'll see it. You can actually avoid using the airport cabs, which can be pricey depending on your budget, and walk about 300 yards and get a lot cheaper taxi that will take you to your exact location. And they also have public collective ones outside of the airport. I have a video on all that, so check it out, and that'll show you the best way for your money to get to where you need to go. This is the highway route from the airport to Crucecita. Crucecita is what most people know as Huatulco. If you are staying in Tangolunda, it'll be probably a little further and will be about 20 minutes. If your stop is in Crucecita, it'll be 10 minutes, maybe 15 once you reach the town with traffic. And you'll be at your hotel. It's actually quite close to the airport. It's a relatively safe highway for Mexico. It's mostly straight. There are some people that like to speed on it, but if you're on a cab or a collective cab, whether it's from the airport or outside of the airport that you took, these guys are really good drivers and they'll keep you safe. This is the overall area of Huatulco. There's a little bit more to the left, but there's not really hotels there, so I'm not showing it. Now I will show you the different parts of Huatulco so that you have an idea of where you will be staying depending on where you booked. Okay, so this is La Crucecita, the little cross. This is what most people call Huatulco. This is where most people from Huatulco live at. There's a few people that live on the outskirts, but almost everyone lives here, unless they live in Santa Maria, which I showed you earlier. There's 3 main bays here. The first one is Chawe. It's a pretty good size one. It has a private marina. It's pretty nice to go look at, but you have to be a pretty good swimmer to be in it because it's kind of choppy. The next one is Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is the main touristic bay here. This is where all the cruise ships come. Most of it is just seafood restaurants. There's some hotels there. There's a public marina. That's where all of the tour boats leave usually for fishing or sightseeing. There's a few condo buildings over there. And then the last one is a small bay called La Entrega. This one is where all the snorkeling happens mostly. Some tours take you to other places snorkeling, but the main place for snorkeling is here. It's got a lot of seafood restaurants, and I think they're finishing their first hotel that will be facing it. There's a few hotels around it, but they're not really facing it. They're facing another bay on the opposite side. Most people that come here and stay on an average budget stay in La Crucecita in one of the various hotels. There's all kinds. They have them downtown, on the outskirts, close to the beach. There's not really a beachfront hotel. Some hotels try to say they're beachfront, but they're not. What it is they own a property in front of the beach, but it's not necessarily connected to the hotel. And they will shuttle you to that property to enjoy beach time, but your room will not be there. You'll be shuttled back and forth as much as you want, but your room will not be beachfront. The only ones that really have a good beach view are a couple in Chahue that are not beachfront, but they're close enough to get a beach view if you're above, and a couple in Santa Cruz that, again, you have to be on the third or fourth floor to get a beach view. This is a pretty good place to stay, and I recommend it for anyone that's trying to travel while trying to experience the Mexican culture of this area. Okay, Tangolunda Bay. If you're staying in this area, you're most likely in an all-inclusive resort. Most of the all-inclusive resorts are here. Not all of them, but most. My suggestion to most people that come here, and this is just my personal opinion, is if you came here, it was for a reason. You wanted the all-inclusivity, you wanted to pay top dollar, and have the beach at your fingertips. You can walk outside of your room and the pool is there, the beach is there. You get to eat the buffet. You get unlimited drinks. I would say to stick with that and enjoy that experience. Most of the time I would tell people, try to go visit the town, get a feel for it, experience the local cuisine, see how the locals live. But since you're spending all this extra money on the all-inclusivity, it's kind of defeats the purpose to shy away from that and go to the town and then spend twice the amount of money because now you're eating out in town while you've already paid for a meal that's all-inclusive in the hotel. So if all you want is to enjoy the beach, relax, and get disconnected from the world, enjoy the all-inclusiveness of Tangolunda. It's going to be a little further from Crucecita. The cabs are going to cost more. The only thing around this area is hotels. There's a couple of restaurants outside of the hotels that are also very expensive, and maybe one or two bars. That's it, and a golf course. So if you're going for the all-inclusive beach experience, go ahead and enjoy by all means. Everyone has their own needs. If you want to enjoy the local culture, I would suggest going and staying somewhere in Crucecita so you can enjoy everyday life in Mexico and try to live like a local just to break the routine from your everyday life. Okay, this last section is Bahia Conejos, the Bay of the Rabbits. And I am told it's called that because there used to be a lot of rabbits running around there, and they can still be seen to some degree. If you're in this area, you're either going to be at the Secrets Resort or you are renting a condo. There's one side of the bay which is mostly living condos. You can either rent some from some owners or some of the companies that have them there, or you have purchased one or you're staying with a friend. The other side of it is the Secrets Resort. It's another all-inclusive resort like the ones in Tangolunda, but they do not allow children. I'm not sure why, but I'm sure they have their reasons. Probably to keep it more quiet for the guest or something along those lines. Anyhow, this bay is stunningly beautiful. You can reach it. If you're not staying here, it has a public access just like Tangolunda does. But it is out of the way, and I would save it for a longer trip. If you're on a short trip, maybe it's not worth a day. But if you're going to be here for a while, it's good to go out and explore it. If you're staying in this area, you probably wanted to stay away from the town anyhow, so I won't go into many details, but the cabs are going to be very expensive here, and there is nothing outside of the resort or the living areas. You are going to have to travel for, if you're not in the resort, you're going to have to travel pretty far for a restaurant or anything else. If you are at the resort, I suggest just staying there and enjoying what you've already paid for. these are the main 3 areas you might stay at if you come to the Huatulco area. I hope this video was informative enough for you guys. I have another one coming out soon. It's the different running trails of this area. There is a total of almost 15 kilometers of runnable, sidewalk safe trails. And I'm doing another video on it. I already got the images, the maps, and the drawings. All I've got to do is do the voiceover. If this kind of video is something that interests you, please let me know in the comments. Give it a thumbs up. If you think it's helpful for someone else that might be traveling here, share it either on social media or via text message, email, whatever. And I'll keep these coming if that's something that you guys think works for you.